All right, hey guys, we are recording our 7th podcast today. So welcome to the experience, I guess.
It's been 7 already?
Yeah, it's been 7, man. This is our 7th podcast, so pretty happy about that. If you guys didn't see us on YouTube last time, that's because the 6th episode for some reason had trouble uploading. Well, actually, trouble on my part. I'll make sure to correct that issue for the 7th episode. That won't be a problem. But yeah, other than that, today we'll be previewing what, Drew?
AL West.
AL West, yeah. While drinking, what beer? Let's show them to the camera.
El Chingon.
Yeah, which I'm pretty sure, and I'm not keen with Mexican slang. Isn't this slang for something?
Yeah, but I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
I thought it was a swear.
It is.
Yeah.
Heck if I know.
Okay, but we're not gonna say it
Nah.
because we're rated PG, guys. Except when we start drinking, then it turns into rated R. Anyway, so yeah, we'll be previewing the AL West while drinking some of this beer right here. Other than that, guys, as always, on here you're gonna hear us repeat this in a couple seconds. Please pay attention to us on YouTube if this is your choice of media, which is probably it is if you're watching us. But obviously we have all the other forms we have, which is podcasts, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher, and all that. So follow us on Facebook too, or Twitter and Instagram. Drew here posts all the time about the beers that we have, which is really nice because we're starting to build an archive. We have what, like 5-6 reviewed beers? Yeah,
6 reviewed beers in there?
6 reviewed beers, yeah. So yeah, Drew, you ready to record?
Ready to record.
All right. And here we go. Welcome to Cheap Seats, Baseball and Beer. Today we are recording our 7th episode. How excited are you, Drew?
Excited. 7 going 7 strong.
I know, man. It's a pretty big deal. I mean, it's one more than 6, guys. Anyway, so today we're going to have a great day. We're going to review the World Series champion Houston Astros AL West division. While doing so, we are going to also be reviewing a brand new beer, which Drew will talk about in a couple seconds. As always, guys, please do not forget to subscribe to all the following medias in relation to listening to our podcast, whether that be iTunes, Google Play, TuneIn, Stitcher. Don't also forget we have our website where you can listen to us, which is cheapseatspodcast.libsyn.com. In terms of social media, if you guys want to interact with us, do not forget that our social media accounts exist. We have Cheap Seats Baseball on Facebook, Twitter,
Instagram.
and Instagram, where Drew, as always, does the reviews on the beer. And right now we have our archive at 6, so we're going to keep on building it today. Other than that, Drew, what's our email account, just in case they want to reach out to us directly?
Email account is cheapseatguys@gmail.com.
Yeah.
You can reach us there, ask us any questions, any concerns, any complaints. Hopefully you don't.
Yeah.
But
yeah, actually, if the person that I spoke with on Twitter had a conversation with a gentleman or a lady, I'm not sure, that wasn't made clear to me, so I don't want to guess. And we talked about, he gave us just kind of like a review and recommendations. So if you happen to listen to this podcast, we do appreciate whether it's positive, negative. We don't care. Our entire goal is to make sure we improve to give a better experience to listeners. So thank you so much for giving us the recommendations. I thanked you on Twitter, but I want to make sure you get a shout out here as well. So before we start talking about the AL West, Drew, what beer are we drinking today, man?
We are drinking Four Corners Brewing Company El Chingon, which I know you asked me earlier, slang for El Chingon. It has a number of meanings.
Yeah.
Nice, awesome, effing awesome. So however you want to take it, it's a pretty cool beer.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you a little story before we even get started. We were at our local grocery store, HEB, which is pretty big here in Texas. But we see this Four Corners Brewing Company, and there's one right next to the other. And there's one that's at like 5% alcohol, and then we see this El Chingon, which is at like 7 something. So
we sprung with the 7.8.
Yeah, we go hard to go home, guys. This is what we're all about here at Cheap Seat Guys Podcast. So
it's it's also part of the experience. It's going to be a good time.
It'll be a good time
drinking this one. But what's it called? Also, guys, obviously the Super Bowl weekend, so enjoy that. We're not going to really mix that in. On top of that, we're towards the end, once we finish discussing the Astros, we're also just briefly going to talk about the possibility of basically a player strike. From what I understand, there was a column, I believe it was by Jeff Passan, on Yahoo that there could be a possible issue with the players union come 2021. So Drew and I are just kind of going to go over whether or not we think what's happening right now in free agency is healthy for baseball. And join us obviously in the discussion. If you guys have an opinion, let us know. Twitter again, just like I discussed with that that person, or however you guys want to. Anyway, Drew, you ready to get in some AL West discussion? All right. Cheers from the cheap seats, guys.
Cheers from the cheap seats.
Oh, this is one of those pop-offs. This isn't even a regular kind of beer thing. How do you even drink this? You just drink straight from it.
I don't know. I guess it's kind of like a little can, like a little tumbler.
All right, cool.
Nice.
All right.
I like that.
Let me take a sip of this.
Whoa.
Wow, that's a kick. Woo! Okay, guys. So...
Ooh, that's tasty, but man, if I start slurring my words at the end of the conversation...
No, but it's not as bad as the beer from California that we drank that one time, so...
I don't know. It's good.
Well, we'll see. No, it tastes delicious. Anyway, so starting off like we always do in each one of our podcasts, we want to go from bottom to the best. So last place last year, we had the Texas Rangers at 78 and 84, the Mariners at 78 and 84, the Athletics at 75 and 87. Actually, flip that around. The A's were last at 75 and 87. Then the Rangers at 78 and 84, and the Mariners at 78 and 84. The Angels came in at 80 and 82, and the Astros came in at 101 and 61. So overall, actually compared to the dud division that we spoke of last week, this was actually a fairly competitive division. In terms of overall win-loss record.
Yes.
You had a lot of teams close to 500.
Yes.
Which, I mean, it doesn't mean that they're all great teams. It just means that...
There's more competition between the divisions.
So, starting off, Drew, let's go ahead and talk about the Oakland Athletics. Just to gotta give my opinion about the A's, I think the A's have been a really good franchise to watch develop because I think they really stumbled on something, during the early 2000s, during the Moneyball era.
During the sabermetrics era?
Yeah, and they were the first ones to really take advantage of it. But the problem is I feel like now they're starting to hit that wall where they're still trying to run the same type of idea, but other teams have caught up to it and they have money. So they're
spending more,
Exactly. So now they're really starting to find themselves consistently behind the pack.
Yes. Yeah, they haven't made... I mean, it was nice. The numbers are nice. You start watching these things and numbers are flashed all over the place. Unless you do it constantly, unless you pay attention to baseball constantly, in my opinion, these numbers don't mean a lot to the real fans, some of the fans that watch baseball games, in my opinion. Right. And with these sabermetrics that the Oakland Athletics have created... Mm-hmm. They've always just been mediocre teams.
Yeah.
They had a few years going back mid-2000s. They had a few years where they did reach a good amount of playoffs, but they can't get over the hump. When they're facing a team, when they're up against a team like the Angels, that they spend money quite often, it's hard. Mm-hmm. And looking from top to bottom on this list, on this depth chart, I mean, you didn't have a single guy. You had one guy bat over 300.
Yeah.
And you can't have that if you want to win a team.
No.
Like, I don't care what your sabermetrics are. I don't care about how much you put into the numbers. You need guys that can bat over 300. You need guys that can give you power. You need pitching that can get you sub-3 ERAs. You need at least one or two guys, and this team just doesn't have that.
Well, that's actually the entire problem, I feel like, with, I guess, what Billy Bean has been trying to do for a long time. Especially when they were really good, they had teams that were almost there, but they were always lacking that one big piece or two big pieces. And that's the point. I feel like teams who are now grabbing the concept of, sabermetrics, the new way to measure teams, new way to measure data, what they're doing is not only are they buying players who, let's say, are more on-base percentage savvy, rather than just home runs and RBIs and average, what they're doing is they're also mixing it in by spending money on that one high star player. So that way they not only have efficiency in what players they buy, but also they have those guaranteed great players.
Yeah.
They mix that up and they have success. The A's have consistently had issue doing that. They've never done it.
Absolutely.
And I feel I don't know if I know that the A's aren't exactly, full of money. They're not the Dodgers, the Yankees, the Red Sox. They're not those power teams, but it feels like they should have at least had the capacity to add one or two superstars.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with that when you're already playing with significantly less money than everyone else. So why not go that extra mile? And I'm not sure if that's like the ownership of the A's told Billy Beane, like, hey, you can't. We don't function.
Budget. We need to be under 100,000 or a million or whatever the number is.
Right. I don't want to judge the guy. I don't know enough about their budget mechanisms and all of that. So, I guess it's a shame. I feel bad. I mean, I don't see the A's doing much better this year than they did last year. There's not much to go off of here. They'll be hovering in the 70-win category with the lineup they have now. That's actually kind of outperforming, in my opinion. Because just looking at their lineup, I just like you said, I'm not really seeing much.
No, you're not seeing a lot, and it tells a lot about them, their sabermetrics. I mean, if you read the book Moneyball, or if you saw the movie Moneyball, it's all about players being consistent and not so much
being
superstars.
Yeah,
and if you look at this lineup, if you were to compare this lineup to another lineup, from top to bottom, I mean, look, if you look at their batting averages, there's not that much of a difference between your number 1 and your number 9, or there's not that much difference between. I mean, the top one is what 277. The bottom one is 235.
Yeah. No. The top average 321 from Boog Powell, and then the bottom one is.
So you have one guy that batted over.
Yeah, but if you were to line this up on average, it's probably like a 260, 255 team.
Yeah,
which is not. You know what? Again, this is kind of what you said. There has to be the performance here has to be on the peripherals, aka that they're probably getting more production from these players based off of the sabermetric numbers, whatever they're seeing here. Because just by the raw numbers we have in front of us, we were jabbing at the NL East. These are like NL Eastian numbers.
Yes.
The fact that they were able to get 75 wins, it's actually kind of impressive out of this lineup.
Yeah.
So credit to the A's for scouting correctly.
But that's the thing. I mean, that's what they do. It's just it's not enough to get them over the hump. It's not enough to get them even close to the hump.
No.
When you're talking about the Astros and the Angels being in the driver and the co-captain, whatever you want to call it, the seats up in the beginning. Like, you can't do that in this division.
No.
Like, I'm sorry. You're going to need to make a push.
Yeah.
You're going to need to spend some money, dip into that pocket, spend some money on some big-name players, definitely on some pitchers, because their starting pitchers are all about the 4.0 ERA.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you can't have that.
Yeah.
Especially when your offense isn't producing.
Slight segue. I mean, no offense to any Oakland Athletics fans. Kind of actually like the team, but I really, really think they have the worst stadium in baseball. I mean, I know they share it with the Raiders.
No.
But, I mean, it is the ugliest stadium.
Well, I know there's been talks about them getting a new one, or if not moving or something.
Like, look, it would be really nice. It just looks 80s. It looks like it's still stuck in the 80s. And I know we're going to, we both have like a...
And you're not the Yankees Park, I'm sorry. You're not the Yankees or Boston where you can get away with that.
Exactly. Well, at least there was a classic feel. There's a classic, like, this feel ancient, the Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park. Old Yankee Stadium, obviously. They felt more ancient. There was a historical Wrigley Field. There was a historical aspect to visiting those stadiums. There's nothing historical about going to the A's Stadium. No. So, just sorry, that was a little segue. I just wanted to mention it. But all in all, kind of to finish up on the A's, because I mean, there's really at the point we're kind of both seeing like average is kind of their thing at the moment. Do you think that they're going to kind of stick in the same kind of area that they were in?
I think they will, unless we start seeing some major output from guys like Jed Lowry and Matt Joyce and Simeon. I think they're in the same. I mean, because those guys are power. Those guys can hit for power.
Yeah.
But to me, I think if they don't produce, and even if they did, maybe give them another couple extra wins, but they're hovering still around the mid-70s.
Yeah. Okay, we're both in agreement there. So, moving on from that, let's go ahead and talk about the Rangers. They were tied with Seattle, but we'll just talk about the Rangers at 78 and 84. The Rangers they had that really, really nice run a couple of years ago when they had Kinsler, Beltre. I forgot who else they had. Kinsler, Beltre, Andrews. They just had a really good lineup.
Yeah.
They had good pitching.
They had Nelson Cruz in.
Yeah, Nelson Cruz, exactly.
Carlos Gomez.
Yeah. They had a great lineup, and they you kind of thought that they were always going to be on the cusp, but of course, 2 consecutive World Series they choked.
Yeah.
And they lost both of them, even though they seemed to be in the winning position, but they lost. So it kind of seems like now they're getting into that awkward phase where they're starting to possibly need to sooner or later go into rebuild, but they still have some young talent. Joey Gallo is really good. And I'm kind of confused by them. Are they just a perennial 500 team now, or which way do they grow? Do they go down or do they grow up?
If your pitching staff stays healthy, if their pitching staff stays healthy, they go up. I think from the starting 4 pitching, they only pitched like 102 games altogether. Mm-hmm. Like it was not that and Cole Hamels is their number 1, but Cole Hamels is probably what? Mid-30s, late 30s? I don't know his age, but...
He's getting up there now.
He's getting up there. And when he's your number 1, you have Matt Moore. You have Matt Moore. You have Doug Fister. Matt Bush. I mean, Matt Bush may move to the starting rotation. I know he's a bullpen guy. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, you need to get more out of your starting pitching. And to me, I don't know if they... I think they're on that cusp of hitting that rebuild stage.
Yeah.
Their depth chart, as far as like the players, man, there can be some offense to this team.
Yeah.
There can be some real big offense to this team. Odor needs to step it up.
Yeah.
As a second baseman, he's a damn good defensive second baseman, but batting 204 is just not what you want from your second baseman. Beltre is still good. Andrews is still good. Delino DeShields has some very big power. Calhoun has some big power. Joey Gallo is going to be a beast in a few years.
A lot of this does depend on Joey Gallo. I call him Gallo.
I don't want to say it's all on him.
Well, no, it's not on him, but he does play a big part because he's going to be their power guy.
Yeah,
and obviously, if he's going to be the future potential, all-star, the MVP of their team, not MVP of the league, just their team.
Yeah,
that average is going to have to go up. There's no way you can expect a 209. I mean, that Adam Dunn didn't help anybody, and he perennially hit 35, 40 home runs and 100 ribbies, but he was batting low 200s.
Yeah.
And you can't win baseball games when that's your main power producer. So I like him a lot. He's got a lot of talent. I agree with you. He's kind of the same category to me as like Dansby Swanson, we're just underperformed a little bit, but huge talent.
Yeah.
Absolutely a lot of room to grow. So I'm not saying anything about them potentially failing. I'm not trying to predict that.
No, to me, this team is a lot better than what their record.
Yeah. There's potential for sure.
Showed last year. This team has a lot of potential. This team, but it all stems from them being healthy. I mean, if they stay healthy and if their bats produce, they can add some wins to that. They cannot be bottom of the barrel when it comes to this division. But there's going to be a lot of climbing the hill in this division.
Yeah. No,
because
we'll discuss this a little more as the podcast goes on. But last week you made mention that the 2 most competitive divisions will be the NL Central now because of the trades that went through, as well as the AL West.
Yes.
So I mean, there's definitely going to be problems for teams like the A's, the Angels. The A's, the Rangers, and the Angels.
Yeah.
The Mariners to climb their way up.
And see, the AL West, you can pretty much say it's 2 teams.
Yeah.
I don't see the other 3 teams really going. I mean, I guess if we're looking forward into one of our next podcasts, AL East can be pretty competitive too with Boston and New York.
That's true. You can never discount Boston and New York. So that's unfair to them.
I mean, from top to bottom, I don't think anyone can compete with the NL Central right now.
No, there's too much.
Yeah.
Too much going on, and
and especially if the rumor goes that
Chris Archer.
Yeah,
then it's over.
So
then the Cubs are gonna be sweating.
It's gonna be rough. Teams are gonna be sweating.
Yeah, that's gonna be rough.
That entire division is gonna be hard.
Let's go jump back to the Rangers. I feel like there's so much happening in the NL Central now that I kind of want to always
you always want to go back to it,
but it's not fair to the other team. So. The point being with the Rangers is, look, fundamentally, I think right now they look like an 800 team. I think you have it right when you say there's potential to get better. My only concern is, like you said, even if they do improve...
Did you say 800 team?
No, I'm 500.
Okay.
Yeah, they're going to be...
Damn.
Yeah, predict the 800 team. No, but so if they improve, if they max out, I think they could be close to maybe 85, 86 wins, possibly vying for a wild card 2 spot. But I think that's their best.
Ooh, that's.
I'm saying possibly.
Everything has to go right.
Right.
Everything.
Well, you know how last week you were talking about the Mets and how you said that potentially the Mets, if everything goes right, like that's what I'm saying. If the Rangers have everything go right for them, why not say that they have the capacity of potentially playing for the second wild card spot?
Yeah, that's true. That is. I mean,
it wasn't that long ago that they were one of the good teams in the MLB. So we can't just discount them just because they've had a couple of bad years. So
that's absolutely. I agree with that. But I think there's better teams in the other divisions that can compete.
At right now,
yeah.
On paper, if I'm looking at, you're absolutely right. I'm just saying, don't forget, baseball's a random game.
It is a very random game.
Whatever we say now, who knows? Halfway through the season, you and I are probably talking about the freaking Rays as the best team in baseball. We're like, what the hell is going on?
The Marlins, bro.
Yeah, the Marlins. Yeah, I don't know where every guy that they traded for, we were all dissing them, and they got every trade right. Derek Jeter's the best GM ever. He just keeps on. Man, we can't stop railing on the Marlins.
Oh man.
But yeah, so. I'm gonna just to like kind of give my example. I think the Rangers are gonna be. I think Gallo. I don't know why I keep on calling him Gallo, but
that's your Cuban.
Yeah, that's probably it. I think he's gonna improve. And I think overall you'll see some of the numbers for their hitters tick up. I also expect their pitching to be a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pen them in at a 500, like flat, 81-81, 82-80 team. Because I don't know.
I could see that.
I see some room for improvement.
I could see a lot of room for improvement. Yeah. I always like to see the Rangers being a good team. Yeah, because here in Texas, I loved going to both of the Astros and the Texas games, and
one of the most beautiful stadiums.
Absolutely,
I've ever seen, by the way.
Absolutely. Yeah, too bad it's overshadowed by friggin' Jerry's World. But whatever.
That's true. That's like right across the street.
Yeah, dude. It looks like an anthill in a freaking like.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, but nonetheless, like I love seeing this team win.
Yeah,
I love seeing this team play up to what their potential is. Do I see it being over 500 possibility? Yes. Do I see it being a playoff push? No, I don't. Right. I don't think it's enough because I think now. And we'll talk about this here in a little bit. I think you have to look at the Angels being a playoff push, wild card team. Okay,
so we kind of both see the Rangers kind of hovering in the 500s, but not really competing in the West.
I think they're a better team than I think they will be a better team than what they were this year.
Okay, so actually, good segue into what I think in the divisions, their direct competitor, the Seattle Mariners. Now, a lot of people are high on the Mariners. A lot of people are saying that there's potential there to vie for a playoff spot, to be a competitive team. Do you see it?
Yes.
You do?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
If Felix Hernandez stays healthy.
Yes.
If James Paxton pitches the way he does. Mike Leake pitches the way he does. If I think Mike Leake even came from, I forgot where he came from, but I don't know.
St. Louis.
Yeah. Ramirez or Rosmo Ramirez, if they pitch the way before they are traded, this team is very good. Their pitching is good.
Yeah. It's their hitting that you're a little concerned about. But not with the addition of D. Gordon at the top of the lineup.
Yes.
I mean, that's a big deal.
Especially
in a huge baseball park, like Safeco Park.
Yeah.
Where he's gonna have if he hits one into the gap, that's a triple every time.
Well, that's the thing, and there's some big name hitters. I mean, Mike Zunino, who's I think he's gonna have another breakout year or a breakout year this year.
Yeah.
The dude can hit. You still have Cano. You still have Nelson Cruz.
Yes.
You have Gene Segura. You have Ben Gamel, Kyle Seager, who. I mean, he's good at the third base spot, and then at hitting, he's really good. Off segueing here. Yeah. Who's better, him or his brother? Kyle or Corey? Kyle or Corey?
I'm going to go Corey.
I'm going to go Corey, too. If Corey can stay healthy.
Yeah, if Corey can
stay healthy. If Corey stays healthy and off the back issues, Corey's a little better. Sorry, Kyle.
Yeah, but I like you, Kyle.
Yes, you're good. I'm a third baseman. I love third base. I play third base. Yeah. You're my man.
Yeah, we love you, Kyle. Don't worry about it. Don't listen to Drew. Drew's just a hater. He's sipping that hater.
I'm just bringing in conversation.
Yeah, we're bringing in conversation. But no, you know what? Looking at what I'm seeing here, I actually like their bullpen. Their bullpen's good.
Nicasio,
yeah,
Diaz.
Yeah, they have good firepower in the bullpen. I mean, we've talked about this again. Bullpen's like the most inconsistent part in baseball. Like it could be great one year and the next year it could just completely bottom out. So there's no guarantees. But from the looks of it, it looks like they have room to grow. They're pitching. Felix, he was okay last year. He didn't have the same dominant stuff he always has. But he's that kind of a pitcher.
But he has the potential.
Of course. So I'm not gonna say anything bad about him. Actually. Funny enough, if he just plays exactly like he can, I mean that's it. You're adding like 10 extra wins.
Yeah,
eight wins, and then you're all of a sudden in that wild card conversation.
Absolutely.
With his team. So
I really wish I would be much higher on this team.
Yeah.
If they kept Yonder Alonso, if they're able to re-sign, because Alonso came in half a year last year.
Yeah, and he did a lot.
And man, I freaking love Yonder Alonso.
He's a great baseball player.
He's awesome, but he went to the Indians.
Yeah.
If they would have kept him at first base, I would have been real high on this team. But don't get me wrong. I'm not saying anything in that I'm not high on this team.
Yeah.
But they have the potential to be a really good team.
Yeah.
To get some extra wins and move up that pecking order in this division.
Yeah. But do you think that they're competitive enough to possibly touch the Angels and the Astros? Not the Astros. Let's just say the Angels. Because honestly, when we go into the Angels and the Astros, in my opinion, there's still a huge gap between the Astros and the second place.
Well, I mean, if you look at the win loss, I mean, they are still what? I mean, they're only 2 wins behind the Angels.
Right. So
Angels did get better.
Right. So that's my question. If Felix pitches to his potential, and what we have now,
and the offense does a little better, yes, I think they can
compete with the Angels.
I think they can compete with the Angels
for second place and wild card spot.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they do. I think the acquisition of D. Gordon was huge for them.
Okay.
I mean, who wouldn't love D. Gordon as a leadoff man, as a team?
No, it's he. I mean, I don't know if you would say he's the best leadoff hitter in baseball, but he's one of the most exciting.
He's one of the most exciting
because I love watching him play. He's so fast. The moment he hits, if a ball is hit off of his bat, if it's on the ground,
he's gone.
I legitimately think he's going to beat it out and get a hit because he's so lightning quick.
Yeah,
you know who he is? He's what I expected Billy Hamilton to be from the Reds. I expected that excitement, that talent, that hitting capacity to
Billy Hamilton excites me because of his speed. I love his speed on the bases.
But D. Gordon is fast as hell, man.
He is, but I don't think Billy Hamilton, and even when he had his breakout year, I never thought Billy Hamilton was going to be a great at-bat hitter.
No, I thought he was going to be a great contact hitter. I thought Billy Hamilton had the potential to hit 280 to 300 and steal 80 bags a year.
I didn't think so. I loved his speed. I wanted to see more.
He's definitely the fastest baseball player.
I wanted to see more slap bunts, whatever he could do to get him on base. But I mean, for anyone that watches Major League, if you ever watch the Major League, the movie, he reminds me of the center field out. Do you remember Willie Mays Hayes?
Yeah,
that's he wants to hit for power.
Yeah,
but
he can't.
As a manager, you got to tell him, hey, slow down.
Yeah.
Well, you can get on base and you can create some havoc on this team. That's how D. Gordon is. But D. Gordon has some pop.
No, D.
Gordon does have some pop.
D. Gordon's just a good baseball player.
Absolutely.
There's not enough to be said about him. Because he played originally for the Dodgers organization, right? They traded him to the Marlins, and then the Marlins obviously reaped the benefits for a couple of years. When he played for the Dodgers, I remember a lot of people said, maybe he's okay, but you could tell that the talent was there. He was going to be really good. And I think that's a really good addition for the Mariners.
Absolutely.
I think they're going to... Him alone, if you combine him and Felix pitching to his potential, you're looking at players here who potentially can, make your team, if they play at their greatest capacities, go to 90 wins.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty big deal. So, basically, when I asked that question, are you buying the hype? If I was a Mariners fan, I'd be excited.
I'd buy the hype.
I'd be excited.
I'd buy the hype. Yeah. I don't think they can make a push for the one position.
No.
But
because I think we're gonna have to talk about that at the end when we do our overall prediction at our before the season begins podcast. Because what you're saying right now is we have more or less in our heads we have solidified who we think is going to win each division. We'll talk about who we think is going to win the division here. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get together and we're going to decide on the same teams for the Central and the East. I think. Are you saying that you kind of think the Red Sox are going to be the one? Is that like the one wild card seed, the number one team in the wild card? Is that why you're saying that they probably won't? Or the Red Sox or the Angels?
I think it's going to be the Red Sox or the Angels.
Okay. That's. I don't want to dive into it, but I just wanted to know why you didn't assume that they could. But potentially
AL Central.
But no, come on, man. Don't give me that much credit. The AL Central is going to be trash.
I'm just thinking.
That's going to be the worst division in baseball.
It's going to be. I mean, they can make a push for They can definitely make a push for a wild card.
If they're in the 90-win category, why not? Absolutely. Who's to say no? That's all I'm saying. Can. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. But so we're both buying the hype on them.
Yes, I'm buying the hype.
Okay, good.
I'm buying the hype on them. I really like their lineup. I hope Ryan Healy at their first base has a breakout year. I do wish it was Yonder Alonso for this team, like I said, but sorry, guys.
Yeah, Drew's getting me another beer. The smarter way to go around this would have been to like unpop all of them because they're all connected in this weird 6-ring thing.
Is it red?
No, man. It's like dark orange.
Pour yours in the glass. Do me a favor and pour it in the glass.
Okay.
Anyway, so back to the Seattle.
Yeah, it's dark orange. It's like a very dark orange. Sorry, guys. Oh man,
that's nice.
Yeah, it's a nice pour.
Yeah, I'm buying the hype on this team. They definitely can make the push for the second. They can definitely compete with the Angels.
Yeah.
If they all stay healthy.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Look, Mariners fans, if you're listening right now, congratulations. I think you guys have something to be excited about. I think if you're looking for a World Series title, add a couple more. I think add one more superstar, and you're all of a sudden talking World Series.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to take now somewhere else.
I said superstar.
Superstar, yes, but you got to start talking. You got to start talking about the age of Cano and Cruz, man.
No, but I'm saying if you were to add one in the next year or two, just for the foreseeable future, they could potentially be in the World Series.
Cruz is 37. Cano is 35, man. Their window is getting smaller and smaller.
But let's say they have a 2-3 year window, right? Let's give them a max 2 to 3 year window.
A big window in baseball.
But
man.
but how much is required? Nelson Cruz is a DH. All he does is swing for power.
That's true.
And RBIs. That's it. That's his only purpose. Don't forget, David Ortiz continued to do the exact same thing. Well, because
all he had to start on the door.
Okay, we're not going through this again. But my point is that not much is required of him. I understand the concern with Robinson Cano. He plays a demanding position. Second base isn't easy, and he's already in his mid-30s. So yes, absolutely, I agree with that. There's concern there, but let's just give them 2 to 3 more years for both.
Yeah.
Add a superstar to that. Add one superstar.
But I think that needs to be in the pitching.
Yeah, okay, let's call it in the pitching. Add him there. Let's assume the hitting stays consistent. Who's to say they're not a World Series favorite?
That's honestly, I mean, had they picked up Ohtani,
man,
I'd have a different...
I'd
be talking a little different.
I'd be looking at the American League with a completely different view. But I'd be saying there's a lot of... Yeah. There's a competition there, so...
So, I mean, now to the team who picked up Ohtani, the Angels, who, like we said... was only 2 games ahead of the Seattle Mariners.
Yeah.
There's not that big of a difference.
Yeah.
They made some moves this offseason.
Yeah, they did. They kind of changed up the structure of their entire team, which is really good for them. And
especially playing with the best with the best player in baseball.
Yeah, with Mike Trout up there. We both agree on that.
Right? I agree on that.
Okay, good. I agree. I don't think Bryce Harper's even in the same category.
I think he's close.
Okay. If you're looking on the video right now, I'm kind of pointing at where I'm seeing this. I think Mike Trout's right here. Bryce Harper's right here. Third place is right there. And then everyone else is down there.
See, I think you can make an argument for either player. Me,
okay. Would you say you remember Miguel Cabrera in his heyday?
Yes.
Would you say Miguel Cabrera, in terms of greatness, is he Mike Trout equivalent, or was he better than Mike Trout in terms of greatness? In terms of overall capacity to hit. Obviously, you can't compare them. They were both different positions. Yeah. They were both different defensively.
I think he's on level with Mike Trout because he didn't have the speed.
No,
like Trout does.
Right, but both had the hitting capability.
I think hitting
Miguel Cabrera was a better hitter.
Miguel Cabrera.
Well, he was like a godly hitter. Yeah. So that's not fair. But,
so it's 2 different players that you're looking at. I think as a baseball person, I personally say Mike Trout's the best.
I agree with you.
But I can make a case for Bryce Harper.
I can't. Okay. I personally cannot.
That's for another podcast.
No, but good for him. You know, you want to know why? Because Mike Trout deserves to play for a winning baseball team.
Absolutely.
He is such a great talent. Absolutely. And I hope he stays with the Angels.
And he's such a good guy. Yeah. He's actually a really good guy.
A great guy. I hope he stays with the Angels for his entire career, wins a ring or two. Because, first of all, I think the Angels deserve to win a ring. They've been a fun franchise to watch for a long time. And you always felt like they were always on the cusp. Yes. But they never got there. And I really hope that they're able to keep...
They tried to get there with Pujols.
Right.
And that
was a risky contract.
That was a real risky contract. And
it didn't come out well.
I love Pujols.
Homeboy hit 23 home runs and 101 RBIs.
He still did, but man, in his heyday at St. Louis, man, that guy was...
330.
That guy was awesome.
40 home runs.
Best hitter in baseball.
No doubt.
That's a risky thing. They tried to do that with Pujols. But... I can't remember, maybe it's just me, I can't remember them ever having star pitchers. Yeah. Like, that was the major flaw for this team.
But okay, look, as it's constructed right now, you're saying that was the major flaw. The weakness I'm seeing now, if Ohtani doesn't develop the way everyone's hyping him up to be, that's still the weakness.
That's so absolutely.
And that's the problem. I love what they did offensively. I absolutely love the addition of Cozart. I love the Kinsler. Yeah, I love the fact that they've added those guys. That's going to solidify their lineup. They're going to be offensively. They're going to be great. I'm going to love watching them play from the offensive standpoint.
Yeah.
But when you have Garrett Richards, Shohei Ohtani, Matt Schumacher, J.C. Ramirez, Tyler Skaggs, look, unless Ohtani performs like he's supposed to, I'm kind of not feeling this pitching.
It's hard to say, man. I don't want to say yes or no. I mean, people say that he's filthy. People say that he's not, that he's going to be one of the best pitchers, but...
I'm going to believe the hype because, look...
I want to believe the hype.
I said a couple episodes ago, I think when we talked in like the second or first episode of our podcast, I said, I'm not buying it because he's going to be doing both. But now I'm just realizing they're focusing more on the pitching. If that's more the route that he's going to take, and Look, Darvish, when he came in here, he had a lot of hype. And his numbers justify that hype. I mean, sometimes when it comes to like big games, he doesn't show up, but that's okay. From what you saw day to day, he's a really good pitcher. He's a talented, and I totally expect Ohtani, because of the hype that was created around him, I think he's going to be a very good baseball player. And look, if he next year or whenever he starts contributing to his full capacity, if he's throwing up numbers between a 2 to 3 ERA, 18 wins or higher per year, 200 Ks per year. I mean, that's a solid. That's a superstar, not a solid. I'm sorry, I'm completely underestimating him here. So
is that enough?
No, because I was getting to that right away. Then they have a 1 and a 2.
Yeah,
they need that 3. I think in modern day baseball, in order to become a great baseball team, you need a 1, 2, 3.
Yes,
and then you can have a good 4 and a whatever 5.
Decent 5, but you also need a good bullpen.
Yeah, that too, and
especially in this day and age of baseball.
Oh yeah,
you need a good bullpen.
When bullpens run at like a 5th inning, they go get into the game.
And you need a closer that can get you close to a 2.0 or ERA. You need that.
Well, discuss that. I mean, let's look at. I mean, their bullpen's completely underwhelming.
Yeah, absolutely.
From last year's performance, we're not looking at a bullpen that really has anyone edge. And see, this is what's kind of making me a little worried. Like, we're talking about the Angels right now. Both you and I, we're kind of making this assumption that, oh yeah, they're going to be a lot better. They're going to compete with they're not going to compete, but they're going to be the second best team. But the more I look at this lineup in comparison to the Mariners, man, I'm kind of getting iffy on the Angels, and I'm kind of buying the Mariners a little. I'm getting bullish on the Mariners.
I'm buying. I mean, I want to buy. I'm on the hype. Like I said, I'm on the hype of the Mariners.
Yeah,
they can compete. The thing about them that is now may possibly separate them.
Yeah,
is they added some offensive power to this Angels lineup.
Yeah,
Kinsler is a damn good leadoff man. As old as he may be,
236.
He can get on base.
OBP, man.
I've always liked Kinsler.
But 313 OBP.
But you still have Andrelton Simmons. You still have Zach Cozart now. You have Justin Upton. You have Mike Trout. You have Pujols in DH.
Scioscia's still their manager, right? Mike Scioscia?
Yes.
Okay. I've always liked him. Yeah. I think he's a really good manager.
To me, that could be what separates those two teams. Huh. But what could kind of get the Mariners closer is going to be this pitching staff.
Right.
I know when Darvish came in,
yeah,
I don't want to say he took the league by storm or he tore apart this league. He was good. No one has seen a pitcher like him.
Right.
Personally, they are saying the same thing about Ohtani, but I don't know. His more of the hype was, he's the Babe Ruth of the Japanese league, but he's not going to focus on pitching. I don't think they're going to put him to hitter. Maybe they'll let him DH a couple times.
Right.
They're going to focus more on his pitching, but it's Shohei Ohtani, and then to me, it's almost like you go to your subpar pitchers.
Right.
And that's if Shohei Ohtani...
And that's a problem.
And that's if he shows up.
Yeah, and that's a huge problem.
And that's a risk that you got to be taking.
Yeah.
That's a huge risk for an organization to be taking, to say, this guy that we're bringing in is now going to be facing MLB talent.
Right.
And then you drop off.
Yeah.
To I mean, Garrett Richards is good, don't get me wrong, but after that, it's a real big drop off.
Right.
And then to have those guys, to put it all on the shoulders of those guys...
Yeah.
And not have a lot of power in your bullpen, that's a risk.
No,
and it's always been the Angels' MO.
Yeah.
Their offense can beat you,
but their pitching is weaker.
But you can, if you can get hits on this team,
you're gonna win.
You're gonna win.
Right, and I agree with you. My comment was going to be like, I would be a lot more comfortable with this team if they had one or two more bullpen arms and one more pitcher.
Absolutely.
If they added, that's what the next season, if they don't make it to the playoffs, focus on that. Forget about the hitting. Your hitting's going to be okay. And my apologies if you guys can hear the dogs in the background. That's my dog barking over there. I'm pretty sure he saw some strangers. But, my concern with the Angels is mostly that I'm not sure, when I'm looking at the pitching staff, that they can really provide the depth, that is necessary to compete with the higher end squads. And you know what? Let's say that they do make it to the playoffs. They're gonna lose in the first round. Because I don't see, if they face a team that has a legitimate 1-2-3, they're done. They're gonna get beaten. I mean,
well, that's the thing. You got to think you're gonna get to the playoffs as unless all goes right for them and all goes wrong for Houston.
A wild card too.
You're going in as a wild card.
They're gonna use their best pitcher in the play-in.
You're gonna be facing an ace pitcher, and you're gonna be throwing a Shohei Ohtani, which
or a Garrett Richards,
but you don't know how those guys. Right. I mean, you know what Garrett Richards will do for now, but you don't know how Shohei Ohtani is going to produce.
No, so there's no guarantee. That atmosphere. Yeah, absolutely. No,
I mean, look at. No offense to you, Darvish.
Yeah.
When it comes to big games, the guy doesn't show up.
But I'm gonna give him a chance. I'm not gonna give up on Darvish. I think that.
Oh, I love Darvish. Don't get me wrong. I love Darvish because as a regular season pitcher,
give him another go around in the playoffs. Let's see it. Don't just judge him based on one. Plus, there was this controversy about him tipping pitches. And I'm kind of worried that he was.
I don't care about that because I saw it with Los Angeles. He choked, but he's also done the same thing in Texas. So I mean, granted, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
But to me, we don't know what Shohei Ohtani is going to do in the playoffs if they make it to the playoffs.
Right.
We don't know if he's even going to have a 2 ERA like Darvish did.
Right.
We don't know that.
Right.
Everyone was so focused on this guy because he lights out pitching in Japan, but also lights out hitting. But now you're bringing him to face MLB talent.
Right.
Which, it could backfire on them. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
And if that backfires on them, these guys are third place.
They're in trouble. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so I think you and I we like what the Angels have done.
Yeah.
But we also see that there's a possibility for error.
Absolutely.
And when we give our predictions at the end of this, I'm gonna buy high on the Mariners a lot, and I'm gonna kind of sell a little lower on them. But we know why here. So finally, there's not much really to discuss about this team right now. Drew's second favorite team, the Houston Astros, the World Series Houston Astros. There you go. He's drinking with a koozie for the Astros. First of all, before we start, congratulations, well-deserved World Series to them. A franchise that was obviously, devastated initially in September, late August when they got hit with that hurricane. And Drew was telling me it's a season of destiny. He was absolutely right. It was. They deserved that World Series, first of all, because from start to finish, offensively, they were the best baseball team in baseball. And that's, not an opinion. That's factually correct. And the pivotal moment that changed the entire season for them was the Justin Verlander acquisition. Yeah. That changed everything.
Absolutely changed everything.
Yeah. Yeah,
they wouldn't have won it without him, in my opinion.
No. I'm gonna give. When we were making these notes, Drew and I, and we were just writing down the statistics of each of these players, so we just had them in front of us. As he was reading off these notes, so I could put them on our spreadsheet, it was kind of funny because every name he would name off from top to bottom had this similar thing of high batting average, home run, RBI, OBP, and it got kind of redundant because he kept on naming these players, and I was like, oh my god, please stop. And then finally he got to Brian McCann and Evan Gattis, the two, the catcher and the DH, and then I was like, thank God. And then it was funny because he was like, oh, Evan Gattis hit 263, 12 home runs, and 55 RBIs. But then he says, yeah, but he only played 80 games. I'm like, dude, that extrapolates to 24 home runs and 110 RBIs.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
now you don't have Carlos Beltran in there to play your...
No, so... You know what the Astros
are? And who's to say? I mean, granted, I could talk 20 minutes about this team right now.
Well, we're gonna talk 10, but let me say something.
Yeah, we'll see.
The Astros are the extreme case of the rich getting richer.
Absolutely,
Garrett Cole, man. That's all you have to say. They added freaking Garrett Cole to a pitching staff that just won a World Series. They just added another stud who, granted, did not have a great year the year before.
No,
but who cares? He's a superstar.
Well, the reason I say that is because, the reason I can see you say who cares is because the coaching staff, the pitching staff, and the pitching coaches are going to do what they did to Verlander.
Absolutely.
They're going to make him focus on his sliders, on his breaking ball, on all these different pitchers, and kind of not lean on his fastball so much like he did in Pittsburgh. And I think you're going to see this. This guy has a possibility of his ERA dropping by 2 whole points. I think, because his stuff is filthy. Yeah. Like, his breaking ball is very, very filthy. Yeah. And now to have an offense like this behind him is even scarier.
Yep.
So, and the sad thing is, he's your third pitcher.
Yeah.
He's still behind Verlander and Keuchel.
I mean, if I'm a baseball team, I'm lining up against the Astros right now. I'd hate myself.
Well, okay, let's talk more about that because we all know they won. They won the championship. Hooray, Houston! I love Houston.
We're gonna go to a game this year. We're gonna go check it out, man. First of all, our goal this year has to be a Rangers game and an Astros game, and if they play each other, then both. Whatever, we don't care.
We're going to the White Sox game in April.
Well, then our goal is the White Sox game.
To see the Houston. Well, I'm seeing Houston.
I'm seeing the White Sox, but it doesn't matter. Look, so yeah, well, go on, Drew. I'm sorry.
So here's the thing. Let's start talking about their pitching. Let's start with their pitching.
You can start anywhere. Just start
with Verlander, Keuchel, Cole, McCullers, Morton.
Yeah.
McCullers and Morton came on strong in the second half. They came on very strong in the playoffs. If those guys pitched like they did in the second half in the playoffs, this team is filthy. The pitching staff is filthy. And not to mention they still have Davinsky, Harris, they picked up Rondon, they picked up Joe Smith, they still have Brad Peacock. Very filthy. The one guy I haven't questioned is their closer.
Yeah.
And I like Ken Giles, but he flustered towards the end of the season.
Thank God. I was actually just wondering what the heck is the weakness of this club. And you just told me what the weakness was.
It's the closers.
Yeah, it's absolutely the closer.
Well, last year was the relievers.
Too. You know what it is? It's the closers come playoff time.
Yes.
You know what? During the regular season, I'm not that worried.
Well, that's the thing. Ken Giles was awesome in the beginning half of the season.
Yeah.
But towards the back end of the season,
he started to slow down.
But
maybe that's less the talent, more the fatigue.
But true. But the thing with this is now that you have these pitchers, think about what what's the manager's name? Just slipped my mind.
Are you talking about the Astros manager?
Yeah.
Ah, crap, I don't remember.
Oh, man, that's bad. Sorry.
Let me look him up real quick. Go ahead.
He can use a Morton to relieve and pitch into the ninth.
Yeah, well, that's what he was doing. Wasn't that's what he was doing in the playoffs?
Yeah. Joe Smith has a nasty slider.
Yeah.
A very nasty slider that he could use also.
What do you think about the addition of Hector Rondon from the Cubs, by the way? AJ Hinch. I like Hector Rondon. I've liked Hector Rondon when he was a Cubs. I think he's a great talent.
And I think bringing him over to the Astros with the pitching coaching staff like that, I think he's going to do even better this year.
Yeah.
So it's you can't say much. Their flaw is the closer. You can make a case that their flaw is relievers too. You don't have relievers like some other teams, but man, when you have starters like that, 3 starters like that, possibly 4, you don't need to be talking about your relievers as much. and I failed to mention this. What if they bring in Forrest Whitley? Forrest Whitley is in the minor leagues.
But that's the problem with the Astros. You want to know what the problem? I shouldn't say a problem. That's the greatness of the Astros. They still have a really good farm system. They have talent that they can bring up.
Well, I'm surprised they didn't get rid of Cole or friggin' Whitley. Or Tucker or Whitley for Garrett Cole.
You're right.
Like, I was like,
that's
what
a
the
steal
heck?
of the century. Well, but
No.
Giancarlo. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm
I'm obviously underplaying. I'm underplaying that move, but. No, you know what the Astros should be known for? Kind of like the Cubs with Theo Epstein. They should be known for management and higher-ups that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Know how to get the right moves for the right players. And not... I mean, I wouldn't say that they're good at screwing over other clubs. They're just good at making deals that benefit their team.
Yeah.
And that's what the Astros are doing right now. The trade, the acquisition of Garrett Cole... Absolutely a beautiful move. They did not give up their best players in their system for him. Not to say that they didn't give up talent. They did give up some talent.
They gave up Joe Musgrove.
Yeah. I'm not saying anything about that. The Pirates, it was an even deal.
Yeah.
But it was not an even deal where the Astros had to gut their system.
No.
Which is a good thing. That's what you want. If you're a fan, when you're watching your team play, you're already winning. You're a successful franchise. You don't want to lose the tools you have because how you keep on building dynasties, it's not by keeping the talent you have.
Yeah.
It's by keeping the talent you have in the farm system. So
absolutely.
that way, when those players get older, you're ready to just plug and tool. You know, with all the people you have in the minors, you just plug your pieces in. And then that's it. You keep on
that's
winning.
the thing. And the thing is, if Forrest Whitley comes up, if Kyle Tucker comes up, he can take over the DH spot or he can play some outfield because, man, that kid's, I think, batting over 300.
Yeah.
In the minors, Forrest Whitley's averaging like a 2-something ERA.
And let me just say something about the Astros real quick. Good job on them for being like the biggest escape artists in baseball. For the longest time, I always thought that they were going to gut their farm system in order to make sure that they got the pieces they needed to become either A, a World Series winning team, or B, a dynasty. No. And they have not done any of that. When they acquired Verlander, good trade.
Yeah.
Didn't give up much. Same thing with Garrett Cole. They've done it right. Like this, if you're a GM, if you're grading GMs, excuse me, I don't remember the name of the Astros GM, but man, power to him.
Yeah.
Or, fantastic job. He belongs in the same limelight as Theo Epstein. Like all the high end GMs. Because what they've done with that franchise is absolutely incredible.
Especially if he can keep this going for a number of years. I mean, with the Garrett Cole, granted they may lose Dallas Keuchel next year.
Yeah.
But I think they have the money to keep him, and then they have the money to go get another pitcher behind that. But still, nonetheless.
Let me say something. At this moment, a couple of years ago when I was gauging, when the Cubs were coming up on their playoff run against the Mets, and they were beaten by the Mets. At that moment in time, I said the Cubs are going to be a long-running franchise. They're going to be a dynasty. You know, like they're going to be good for a long time because you knew it was coming. You knew with that team. It doesn't matter if you hate the Cubs or you love them. You knew that it was it. That was their time.
The funny thing is, I think I need to remember when they hired Theo Epstein.
Yeah,
I think I said 4 years, 3 to 4 years,
which is right around where they were.
They were.
But looking at where I am now, at the current positioning of baseball, if I were to say one team is going to be the dynasty in baseball, the Astros have everything they need. The right management, the right players, the right tools in their minor league system. Because you know what the Cubs are lacking right now? That minor league system. It's gutted. It's gutted. They have nothing in that minor league system.
They have one guy.
But that's it. Yeah, they used to have one of the best. We'll talk about this a little more at some point in time. It started with that Chapman trade, the biggest mistake when they traded Gleyber Torres. They should have never given him up for a 6-month rental, or not even 3-month rental.
Yeah.
Of freaking Aroldis Chapman. But anyway. That was literally the only blemish on Epstein's record, but I'm not going to say anything. But my overall point is this. I think the Astros have everything.
Well, let's talk about their offense. Let's see.
What is there to talk about, Drew? In all reality, man, come on, man. Like, I'm looking at this lineup. Come on. Give me a freaking break, dude. You got hitter after hitter after hitter. You have power for days. You have RBIs. You have OBP. This is the best hitting lineup I've seen in baseball for a long time.
Oh, it's good. It's very good.
Give me a lineup in history. Since you and I have started watching a game that you will compare to this lineup, I can't think of one. It's just top to bottom. I'm looking at this lineup right now, and I'm just like, what the hell have I ever seen that's even close to this kind of production? The Yankees, maybe?
Early 2000 Yankees, late 90s.
No, the 90s Yankees,
90s
possibly?
Yankees. I could say 90s Yankees. 90s Yankees was this.
The Indians, when they had Kenny Lofton, David Justice, Jim Thome. Like the 90s Indians.
With Vizquel.
Yeah, that team was pretty stacked.
That team was pretty stacked, but yeah. But the thing about it is those teams, here's the thing that excites me about this team, but it also takes away from my enjoyment of my Cubs. This team is so effing young. Like, this team is stupid young.
Dude.
This doesn't even compare to the Yankees in the 90s when they had older players, or the Indians who had older players. This team is young as hell.
And that's the thing. This is why I'm continuing to say this. The reason why the Astros moved up in my dynasty rankings over the Cubs is because both teams have hitting for days. Yeah. And they're going to have it for a long time because all the people they have are young, essentially. But the Astros also have pitching, and they have depth in the minors.
Yes.
To just throw pitching in there.
Yeah. That's the thing like with Keuchel, and going back on pitching, if they lose Keuchel,
they can replace him.
I
have full confidence that whoever they bring up from that minor league system is going to come in.
Because you have Forrest Whitley, and then there's another kid who actually I think he just came in last year or the year before, who's also
the one they drafted in the first round?
Well, Forrest Whitley kind of like catapulted fast.
Yeah.
Very fast. There's another kid that they drafted.
He's the top pitching prospect in the major leagues. If I'm correct.
No, he's top 10.
No, he's
not top. No, he's number one.
Hold on. Let me go ahead and pull up MLB top prospects. He's not. I know that from the list that I remember, our guy from the White Sox is 10. He's 9. Whitley's 9. I think he's the number one pitching prospect.
See, because Tucker's
Ohtani. Ohtani's number one. But I don't count Ohtani because he's going to be a starter right away. This Jesus Christ.
Kyle Tucker's 5, dude. Kyle Tucker's there.
Like, it's insane that they... Look at that. They have a... what is this? This is... this is by position. Okay, so look. We have Ohtani, Acuna. We have Guerrero Jr., Eloy Jimenez, Gleyber Torres. Stupid. Victor Robles, Tatis, Whitley, number 9.
I want to go see that guy. We're getting off subject here, but that dude plays for the Missions right now.
Who, Tatis?
Fernando Tatis Jr.
Okay.
I want to go see that guy.
Worst trade in White Sox history. Yeah. We gave him away for freaking James Shields because we thought we were going to be competitive.
Yeah.
We would have... Can you imagine if we had Eloy Jimenez at number 4 and Tatis Jr. right now at number... we already have a stacked farm system. But then we have this guy at number 10, so I'm okay.
Kopech is good.
Yeah, he's going to be a stud. This guy's a monster. Yeah. But anyway, actually, have you seen a video of him? He throws like Justin Verlander.
I saw it.
Him and Verlander have the exact same delivery. It's pretty cool.
What's scary about Forrest Whitley, he reminds me of like a freaking young Randy Johnson, dude.
Forrest,
fucking 6'7".
From the right-hand side?
Yeah, 6'7". Dude. Like, just a monster on the
honestly, like, can you imagine just... If I was the Astros, I would be so look, you obviously want Keuchel back. Like you would if he's willing to resign, sign him.
Yeah.
But the fact that you have this guy as backup, I mean, come on.
Which is scary because if they keep Keuchel and you have Verlander, Keuchel, Cole, Whitley,
Kyle Tucker is the 17th ranked. The Astros in their current system have a 9th ranked right-handed pitcher.
Yeah.
At Forrest Whitley and a 17th ranked Kyle Tucker.
Yeah.
As an outfielder
And I have a feeling that guy can come in this year, Kyle Tucker. Kyle Tucker's MLB ready.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
And if he comes in and he can play like a Josh Reddick's position, or he can give some free time to Marwin Gonzalez.
Yeah.
Man, or play DH. Man, that team is.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I remember when we were thinking about trading Jose Quintana, our two teams were the Cubs or the Astros, and I was like, oh man. What if we were able to get Kyle Tucker? I mean, ultimately, I think we got the better end because Eloy Jimenez, he's going to be a stud. I think that was one of the water bottles or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about that too much.
Oh, the baseball.
Oh, was it baseball?
Yeah.
Oh, it fell. Anyway, so I'm happy with what we got in return because honestly, is it cumulatively as good as a combination of Forrest Whitley and Kyle Tucker? No, but we would have never gotten Kyle Tucker. We ended up getting the fourth best prospect in MLB right now, and Dylan Cease, who's number 60, I'd like to say. Let me keep on scrolling here. Yeah, Dylan Cease from the Cubs, 61. So it was a good trade for us, but I really wouldn't. If we got Whitley or Tucker, that would have been a great trade too.
Yeah.
So look, my point is this: it's forget about the White Sox. My point is that the Astros right now. I mean, wealth of riches, man. Wealth of freaking riches. Good for them. I'm happy for them. Like you know what? You can't. Why would you, as a baseball fan, you can't hate the Astros?
No.
There's nothing to hate about the franchise. They did it the right way. They suffered. The fans suffered. For a long time, they suffered. They paid their dues, and now they're reaping the rewards.
Yeah, absolutely.
So why would you hate them?
And they're going to reap the rewards for a few years.
Yeah. And they deserve to.
They deserve to. However, there's more teams in play nowadays than there was.
Yes.
5 years ago.
Well, there's an argument to be made about that, Drew. I feel like now baseball is kind of... Oh, sorry. What the... What? No. Where's the record button? Why isn't... Wait, where's the record button? Why isn't it recording?
Yeah, I don't know.
Pause. Okay, guys. Sorry for the delay there. We're going to jump back into the podcast right here. We had like a little bit of technical difficulties. Drew, you were saying that that now more teams are in play, and I was gonna cut you off, and I was gonna say something else. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump in on the cutoff. Yeah, dude, but I think that nowadays the competing line isn't that there are actually more teams in play. The competing line is actually that there are less because more teams are following the Astros, the Cubs, and they're rebuilding. So you're actually getting less good teams, more bad teams, and the good teams are going to thrive because they're going to get to beat up on those.
But the thing is, those good teams are very good teams.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
No doubt.
You have your Dodgers, you have your Yankees, you have your Boston, you have your Cubs.
No doubt.
I mean, they're very good teams, all of which can make a play, can make a push for the World Series.
Yes.
If things go right for them, things go wrong for other teams, so forth and so forth. Like we said, baseball is a finicky game. It's a very particular game where it may not be the Astros' time next year.
No.
Now they have a strong case. They have the players in place for next year and a couple years after that, 4 or 5 years after that. But we'll see.
Right.
Like it almost seems like unless you dish out the money, like your Yankees and your Red Sox and your Dodgers, if you're a good team. You're good for 5 years, and then it's almost like, okay, you need to rebuild.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know. This team, Astros, the owner talks about how he wants to spend money. And if he talks about how he wants to start spending money like the big boys,
okay,
go right ahead, dude.
Then it's over. I mean, I wouldn't say it's over, but it's just the MLB. The MLB's changing. There's a power shift now. It used to be you always talked about the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers. Now it's slowly morphing into let's go ahead and throw in the Astros and the Cubs into that conversation because those two.
Now you have to. I mean, especially because of the pitching.
Yeah.
Last year or the year before when Cubs had their World Series run, man, their pitching was good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we talked about it a few podcasts ago.
It's iffy.
It's iffy. Yeah, like their podcast is iffy.
Yeah, but anyway, so I want to finish up the Astros with kind of the same predictive thing that we always do. Is there like a worst case with them? Because I don't see a worst case. My thing is do I think there's a guaranteed 100 win season? No, because 100 wins is hard. So I don't want to guarantee 100 wins. What I will guarantee is I think they're the best team in the NL West. And I think they're going to win that division by about 6 or 7 games. And I really do. I think
6 or 7?
Yes, I think they're going to have 97 wins. I think the Mariners or the Angels are going to top out at 90 wins. I think they are by far the most talented team in the NL West. And still, I'm going to go ahead and claim they won that title legitimately, and they're the best team in the MLB.
But you're giving them less wins.
A little bit.
Okay.
Mostly because after you win a title, that motivation going to go drop a little bit. There's going to be some problems maybe in the middle and the beginning of that season where they're not going to be playing the same style of baseball, same motivated ball. They're going to be like, yo, we just won a World Series. We're the best.
Okay.
You know?
It's a hangover effect.
The Cubs had it. The Cubs just had it. They just went through it.
I can see the Cubs had the hangover
effect.
Right.
You saw what happened.
I saw
exactly.
That.
And for all I know, it could mess them up so much that they may not even make it past the first round in the playoffs.
Okay. Now shut up for a second.
Oh, shit. Okay. Damn.
You added Garrett Cole in the offseason. Cubs didn't do that.
Correct.
Cubs did not have a Justin Verlander.
Correct.
Or you can compare an Arrieta to a Dallas Keuchel.
Yes. They added Quintana.
Which is good.
Which was not close to Justin Verlander.
But even their 4th and 5th starters, the Astros, are good.
Are good, yeah.
Okay, there's 1 point.
Yeah.
2 points. Second point. Carlos Correa, if he stays healthy, man, he only played like 115 games last year. 120 maybe, I don't know. And now you bring in a more, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I don't want to say it's not determined, confident.
Yeah.
Marwin Gonzalez, who led the RBIs out of this team, out of this lineup. More confident Alex Bregman.
Yeah.
Damn more confident George Springer. You bring in a Brian McCann who with Atlanta, Brian McCann was awesome.
Yes. But he's getting a little older.
He is, but he's getting better as the years go by.
Yeah.
I think this team gains wins. I think this team, I would say, granted whatever the Angels did.
So you're saying they're going higher than 101.
I think they go 104. I think they're in the 105, 18. I think they have the possibility, and I'll go out on the limb here, of catching that Yankees 110?
Yeah. No! Oh, the record for a single season?
Yes.
No, that was the Mariners. They beat that. That was in like 2002. They got like 118 wins or something.
Are we
like
sure about that?
Yeah, go check it out. I guarantee you it was the Mariners, though.
I would say this team has the ability.
Now, I don't know if the Mariners beat the record. I just know that they were the last team to compete with it. And I thought they beat it, but I could be wrong. But do I think that the Astros are going to do it? No. I believe in the World Series hangover. I really do. So, let's see what we have here.
Let's see. Okay.
Oh, the Cubs at 116. I told you the Mariners were... Oh, yeah, because the Mariners played the full 162 at 116 and 46. Yeah.
Okay.
I remember that team.
Okay.
Yeah, and you were right.
So maybe not 116, but you know what? I think they're in the 110. Man. I think they're in the 110 to win. I think they have the ability to.
Drew's going for the world record type of crap this year.
Dude,
that's impressive. Okay, so good lead in. Obviously, we both agree on the Astros going 1 and 2. You and I are gonna actually. This could be a jumbled up.
Well, you're talking Astros Angels 1 and 2.
Right. This is gonna be a jumbled up prediction cycle. So who do you predict? Give me your order: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I got Astros number 1.
Uh huh.
I'm going to give it to the Angels, number 2.
Okay.
Mariners, number 3. Actually, yeah. Mariners, number 3.
Okay.
Rangers, number 4.
Okay.
Oakland, number 5.
Okay, that's fair. I have Astros. That's a given. Shouldn't even say that. I have the Mariners, number 2.
Ooh, nice.
I absolutely disagree with you there. I do not buy the Angels yet. I don't like their pitching staff.
I may change that I may change that in the first couple weeks, to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
Because it's all going to depend on Ohtani.
Right. Absolutely.
That's absolutely what that depends on.
You're absolutely correct. And
their offensive, offense that they introduced, that they acquired, I think gets them to the number 2.
Yeah.
But it's all going to depend on Ohtani. If Ohtani comes in and he starts pitching 4.0 ERA, number 3.
Okay. I understand that. So I'm going to throw another monkey wrench. I have the Rangers finishing 3. And I have the Angels 4th.
Oh my God. Are you drunk? Did this fucking 7.8?
No, dude. I do not buy the Angels, man.
But you buy Rangers over
the
Angels.
I buy the ability. I think the Rangers have room to grow, and I think that they're going to get better.
I mean, I can see that they only were like a few games behind them.
What I'm saying is I don't buy the experiment. I think that the Angels flatten out. I think the
Rangers, man, you just love to piss me off, don't you? Like... Rangers didn't do anything this offseason, dude.
It doesn't matter. I think that there's just... Look, the players they had last year did not perform up to their capacity. All I think is each player... Like, the players that they have, the young ones, have the capability of actually improving. and then that's adding like 7-8 wins. They're in the 87 win, and I don't think the Angels are better than 80 wins.
Adding Ian Kinsler or Zach Cozart,
don't believe it. Do not believe in. Cozart's a good baseball player,
and not having the best baseball player in baseball.
Cozart's going to have to play in a different style of baseball in the American League. Players like that have trouble. Look.
Wow,
Kinsler,
cheap seat nation.
Kinsler's at 236, 22 home runs, 52 RBIs. Why we got to do this, Drew? You know I'm right.
I seriously hope.
Why do I always have to win every weekly discussion, guys? Every week I win every discussion. And Drew keeps on throwing this weak-ass stuff.
That's a lawyer in you right there.
Okay. I'm just saying, like, every week we have these discussions and Drew just keeps on losing time after time. You know who you are? You're Skip Bayless. Like, in that discussion, you're Skip Bayless.
No, you're Skip Bayless.
I'm Stephen A. Smith. I keep on rolling.
No.
I just keep on beating. I mean, no one likes me because no one likes Stephen A. Smith.
Okay.
But
here's the thing. No one likes Skip Bayless either, but...
no, but I think he's a Spurs fan.
But here's the thing, dude.
Yeah.
You're saying adding Ian Kinsler, Zach Cozarts.
Yeah.
You still have Albert Pujols. You still have the best player in baseball in Mike Trout. You're saying that's not enough.
No.
I
do not believe in their pitching at all.
Okay, you don't, and I get that. But their pitching, even though it even sucked last year, they still were ahead of the Texas Rangers. Yeah. And now they added Ohtani.
Don't care. I need to see what. Look,
man,
I am in love with eating crow. I will eat literally all the crows in the world. I don't give a crap. Well, crow's not. You know what crow is, right?
No, I don't. What's this?
Well, when you say something stupid, like when you make a prediction, and people say like, "Oh, I'm gonna eat crow if I get it wrong." It's just a general thing.
Is that a Chicago thing?
No, it's everywhere, man. Okay,
I've never heard that.
Anyway, so if I'm probably gonna get it wrong.
Absolutely. In fact, I'm glad we're recording this because, damn, at the end of the season,
we'll go over this again.
I'm going to go over this
the fact that either
you're stupid wrong,
right? That either I got it right or Drew got it wrong. It'll be one of those two things. Either I got it right or Drew got it wrong.
Props to fucking Four Corners for making this guy fucking thinking.
That's not true.
Smartest baseball analyst of all time.
That's not. Am I saying that I'm the smartest baseball analyst? All I'm saying is that I really don't buy the Angels right now because we reviewed them and I don't like them. Anyway, so
do we have a chance to make different decisions in the half point of the season?
Oh no, we're gonna do our mid-season review.
Okay,
we're gonna do a mid-season prediction / review, and we're gonna talk about where we were wrong, where we were right, and all that stuff. Anyway. Before we jump into our beer review, Drew, we were talking about the possibility of the players striking. I believe, as I mentioned, Jeff Bassan wrote an article, I think for Yahoo, and he said that, I think 2021, they were discussing the possibility of a strike by the players' union. So I guess 1 and 2, it's based off the fact that it seems like free agency is going in a different direction now. Baseball teams are getting smarter. They're starting to understand that overpaying is dumb.
Yeah.
And that you want to build smart teams, not just pay for all the baseball players. Do you think that it's healthy for baseball to go this route? And do you think the players have a legitimate claim? Are the baseball players right? Is the second question. But do you think this is good for baseball? Is the first question.
Oh, man, that's hard to say. As if I was to ever make it into the major leagues, yes, dude, I would love these high payouts.
Yes, right.
But as a business part, I don't think as a team, you have the right to say, I don't think you're worth $100 or $245 million a year. And then, especially for 7 years, and then you suck.
Right.
If you want that type of money, okay, then if you want that type of money, then you should at least give the ownership something in the contract that says we can break this contract at any time.
Right. It's kind of like an exit clause.
An exit clause.
Right.
Absolutely. Because you're securing this $245 million for what you did in 1 year. But if you're not doing it for those 7 years that you're doing, it's a load of crap, man. To me, as a business, if I was running a business, performancing, you cut your losses.
I like that. I that's actually a really good idea. I think it'd be smart for baseball, especially with these contracts where you get players like Jason Hayward, Albert Pujols, guys that you buy who you expect are going to be superstars, and then they fail. Look, in the case of Jason Hayward, maybe it's a little less fair because you guys bought him young. But in the case of Albert Pujols, when you buy them a little older, you say, okay, look.
you're pretty much securing. I mean, I get it. He has to look out for himself and his family too.
Right.
But come on, man. Like, you're asking a lot of money.
Right.
And then not to perform.
Well,
and I'll give you a good example. I'll give you a real good example this year.
Yeah.
JD Martinez wants a lot
and that's
of
a risk.
money.
That's risky, yeah.
But prior to the last 2 seasons, what has JD Martinez done?
Good question. Nothing. Well,
I'm sorry.
Injury ridden.
Absolutely.
Yeah, injury ridden.
That's the thing. But he had 2 good seasons.
Yeah.
And now he's demanding $200 million.
Right.
Bullshit. Like, I'm sorry.
Do I agree with you? Yes. But here's the thing. From the limited knowledge I have of business, you can't just put it on the worker or the player.
Yeah.
The company, when they buy in, they have to know that there's an inherent risk.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So they have to have the wherewithal to appreciate the risk, to understand and study it, and then say, okay, I'm going to offer you X amount of years. And that the reason why I'm offering it isn't because I want you. It's because this is the smart amount of time for you to stay legitimately good for us. So this is not me being a contrarian. This is me asking you, don't you think there's also a level of fairness to say, shouldn't baseball teams be smart enough to say, okay, well, this is a 32-year-old guy. Yeah, he's a stud. But I'm not going to evaluate him for 7 years because most likely average players start falling off at 36. Mm-hmm. Let's go ahead and say give him a 4-year contract. If teams started doing that, wouldn't you think that would put the ball in their corner and say, look, they're doing it right. The players now don't have a conversation topic.
But that's what they're doing now.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. Don't you think so? Aren't they headed in the right direction? Teams, management.
Teams have a good teams that are doing that.
Right.
Are doing it in a good way. They have a good mindset of this is what we want to do. It's only 4 years. But players are greedy.
Right.
Players are wanting 7 years.
Yeah, they want those mega contracts.
And they want those mega contracts.
Right.
To me, contracts, it's either, and that's the thing, I don't think you're going to get a budge from any of these sides.
Right.
I mean, you'll get a budge from the manager's side, from the organization side, that says, okay, we need you on our team. This is what we're going to pay you. But then you're going to fall into traps like the Cubs, the Nationals with Jason Worth.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say Angels with Pujols, but I mean, he hasn't performed like he did. Who are other big names there? I mean, there's a number of players that are just a number of big names, but you fall into those traps.
Yeah.
And you're stuck.
Yeah.
If no one wants to budge, then contracts need to change.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll give you 7 years, but now your pay rate each year is going to be prorated to what your performance is.
Right.
Which, it gets confusing and will get very confusing, but I'm not going to pay you $30 million a year if you're going to bat .220 for me. Like, that's
fair.
Which is absolutely fair.
Right.
So either, as a player, you take shorter contracts and you're guaranteed $25 million a year, or you go longer contracts and you give the organization an exit clause with the prorated amount each and every year.
And honestly, like if you're thinking about it, just from a net positive, net negative, obviously if you go with the old model where you're getting 7 to 10 year contracts at $25 million per, yeah, you're getting that consistent money. But if you're going on a 3-year, 4-year contract at $25 million per, I mean, maybe you perform to that contract, and then after that, you get a chance to get a $30 million, and then you get to go somewhere else. You get to play in a different. It doesn't keep you tied up.
That's the thing, and that's the thing.
Net positives and negatives.
I would love to start seeing contracts, and I know this may never happen, and this is just talking probably fucking gibberish on our part, but
yeah,
I would love to see a prorated contract. Like, we'll give you 7 years, and we'll start you off right now at $18 million a year.
So long as you do X, Y, and Z.
You perform.
Yeah.
20. You perform that year?
Yeah.
22.
Well, I mean, there are incentives now. There are, like, if you make the All-Star game, if you make the World Series, if you make the playoffs, you do get bonuses.
Right. I'm talking.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying.
Contracts.
I just want the audience to know that there's a difference between what you're saying.
Yeah, I'm talking more prorated contract and not.
Right.
But like at the same time, barring injury.
Right.
If you're injured, contracts stay the same. But if you underperform, hey, sorry. Like,
no, and
I'm talking if you're not, like, you go from 18 to 17. or something like that.
Would, you know what? It would help. It would help the teams out a lot.
Yeah,
and that's it's good for baseball too, but. Players Association would never buy that.
Players Association,
zero chance they would buy that.
Absolutely no.
Unless baseball teams would say this, they would say, "Look, we're going to start offering an average higher salary, but we're going to start also offering that clause where it's going to be a performance clause."
Yes,
and that's going to be the drawback. So we're going to give you the higher salaries. We're going to increase our average paid to each player by X amount. But then we're going to take away the ability for you guys to use our teams by playing like crap. Because if you start playing like crap, then we're going to be able to dump it. And that's fair. Why shouldn't that be the case? Do we think that players deserve to get paid? Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think you and I are saying that players should get paid less. No. Baseball players are talented individuals. They made it to one of the greatest games on earth, in our opinion, the greatest. And look, is it harder than certain other jobs? Maybe not, but we're not here to discuss that. Our point is that they deserve the money they get. They should fight for that. These people worked hard. They're superstars. They're loved by millions of people. Let them get the money.
Yeah.
But at the same time, teams shouldn't be screwed over because the point of the team, the teams, they cover the city, they cover the people of that city. They want to win. If you give them a contract that's bad, that screws up the city, that screws up the team.
That screws up baseball.
Yeah, that screws up baseball. Exactly.
I'll tell you why it does. Because perfect example, you run into a team like the Marlins. You run into a guy that's getting paid
$250 million.
$250 million
over 10 years or some crap like
with
that.
no trade clause, with none of this.
Yeah.
And they're a perennial suck-ass team.
Yeah. Well,
like
below average. But now they're going to be suck-ass, but below average, yeah.
They don't have the money at that point to go add other players.
Yeah.
And that's the thing.
Pay too much
so now it's like, now they're facing a free-for-all. Now they got to trade everyone to rebuild.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, to me, now, I mean, like we said, they have the ability, they have the right to go say it,
right? To
go demand money, but I side on the side of the organization. I side on the organization side.
Yeah.
To say it's smarter for them to not pay that.
This is actually a really good debate. I want you and I could potentially spend a lot of time on this. I personally do side on the side of the players. I do. I actually like your argument. I do agree with it that if there was a performance clause, that would be perfect for baseball. I really do. But I also am empathetic to the baseball player. I really think that the baseball player deserves everything they're asking for because it's their role in the end. They have to suffer through the training, through the exercise, through the day-to-day...
Through the traveling.
Right, exactly. They're the ones who have to deal with it. And I'm not saying... Look, at the end of the day, the corporation manages for the city, for the people.
Yeah.
So they do need to watch out for what's best for the city.
Yeah.
The Astros and the Cubs and the Yankees and the Red Sox, they do need to watch out for what's best for their respective cities.
Yeah.
But you got to think about the player a little bit, too. Because, look, do you need $20 million every year? Fuck no.
Yeah.
You can make it with $2 million. Probably for your lifetime, if you're smart enough. You can make it on $2 million.
Yeah.
But if you want, okay, you can make it on $1 million a year if you want. But it doesn't mean that they don't deserve to ask for more. Because that's their right. It's their duty because that's what everyone else is getting. That's the level that's expected. So why shouldn't they ask for it?
They don't. But then again, and this is another conversation. How much of that questioning, how much of that demand falls on the sports agents?
A lot. I mean,
I'm sorry. Like
agents have changed the game. Like Scott Boras.
Oh God,
Scott is the worst scum I've ever seen in my life.
He's just demanding money.
No,
and here's the thing. Like we said, and the perfect example, like I said earlier, JD Martinez.
Yeah,
you can't be demanding $25 million
as a guy who
just produced 2 years.
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're absolutely right.
You can't do that.
You know what? I blame the agents more than I do the players.
I blame the agents more than them.
Look, when a player says, "I want more money," more power to you. That's your right to ask for.
Yeah.
But agents...
They take it above and beyond.
And especially if you look at a guy like Scott Boras, I'm pretty sure he's the most hated agent. And there's a reason. Because he's not willing to understand or see the other side. He's only willing to comprehend the thing for his player. So in a way, he's the best kind of agent if you're a player.
Yes, for the player.
Because he's going to set you up. He's going to make sure...
But he's the worst agent for the team.
But, yeah, exactly. Like... the White Sox specifically, just as an example, they don't deal with Scott Boras players. And I'm kind of happy. Look, are we ever going to get the high-tier agents? Probably not, because Scott Boras does have a lot of good clients. Yeah. But I don't want to deal with him.
But
I don't like his way of negotiation.
And that's the thing. On the flip side, the Nationals deal with a lot of Scott Boras players, and they have a lot of Scott Boras agents on there.
Yeah, players, you mean.
But they still suck.
Well, they don't suck. They choke.
They choke, but...
Right.
I correct that. They don't suck. They choke.
Right.
But that's the thing. Like, Jason Worth was one. Sucked.
Yeah.
There was another guy that they had. That was Scott Boras. I can't think off the top of my head, but that dude sucked too. But, like, that's the thing. Like, you're paying all this money for these guys. Right. And they're not performing. There has to be a performance clause.
I honestly... If baseball wants to get it right, like from a being productive standpoint, from a business sense, and then doing it right by the players, I say you raise the average salary and you drop that performance clause in there. You give players the ultimatum. You say, hey, I want you guys to get paid. I do. I absolutely care about you. Let me go ahead and raise your average pay. I'm going to go ahead and say minimum contract for any baseball player instead of $600K, $1 million.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, if you're a luxury player, if you're the best in the world, minimum cap, the cap on that, $40 million. Let's raise it.
Yeah.
But I'm going to add that little caveat. I'm going to say, if after year 3, because I think every team should be at least honored to pay 3 or 4 years on their contract, because it's your fault for asking the guy to pay that much. After year 3 or 4, if you're underperforming, then based on performance, we get to drop your pay on X. Exactly.
Absolutely.
So, okay. We agree on that. Look, again, we're over-recording, Drew. We keep on going over our limits, man. We are doing way too much work. We're not getting paid enough for this. So I think you and I got to go on strike, man. But anyway, it was a good podcast. I'm glad we had that discussion. I think I don't want to see a strike. I really don't.
Bad for baseball, man.
It's horrible for baseball, man. And we're just starting to get the hype back. People are excited about baseball. People are excited about watching baseball. We're starting to get young people to watch baseball again, and that's important. So I think this is not the time for baseball to get into a freaking financial dispute. Let's hope that they get it figured out, and that in 2021 we're all happy. Hopefully. In 2020. So anyway, Drew, I want you to let me know what you think about this. I'm going to go ahead and put this up on the camera right here. It's called El Chingon, which is Hispanic. It's slang. Drew explained it earlier. What do we think about this beautiful 7.8% ABV beer? Drew, from Dallas, Texas.
El Chingon is what I have to say. Nice. Ooh. Effing awesome.
Ooh.
Here's the thing. It is a kick in the ass, guys. I'm not going to lie.
Not even a
This is... I don't have any... I have a taste of, like, nuttiness, but it's all hops in this thing.
Yeah.
It is all hops in this thing.
As hell.
This is one of the most hoppiest beers I've ever had.
Every time you take a sip, and...
you don't get fruity?
No, nothing.
You don't get smoky?
You remember that? You remember the beer from California we drank? The one that I really liked?
The
double
one,
bastard,
yes.
the double bastard, or just a bastard or whatever, bastard ale.
Yeah.
That beer, when you started drinking it, it punched you.
Yeah.
But then it smoothed out, and you were happy with it. This
every
beer,
single drink,
it punches you, continues to punch you in the face.
Every single drink, it literally, like you feel it. And
but is that a bad thing?
No, not a bad thing at all.
Freaking out.
This thing is good. I could get really good buzz off 6 of these. Probably 4 of these.
Are you kidding me?
No,
dude, it'd be a little less. 6-pack of that,
I didn't drink my third one because I have to drive. So this thing it's good. It is really good. I scale of 1 to 10, I give it an 8.5. I mean, it's good, but you have to enjoy. You have to love hops in order to drink this beer. You have to. Yes. If you don't like a hoppy drink, do not pick this drink. Do not pick this beer up at the grocery store.
This would be a good beer to have with food. Like I think this would be like a general like steak, a burger.
Oh, absolutely.
If I had it at a baseball park,
like in a fancy glass.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to have this with nachos or hot dog. But if I like went to a ballpark and I had like a burger or like just a burger, because there's no steaks at a ballpark.
Man, dude, this needs to be like a steak. I think this needs to be a
burger,
steak.
a nice prime burger. Come on, man.
Okay, nice prime burger.
You
We're
know,
talking
like,
fucking fancy. We're not talking Big Mac here, right?
Well, no, I'm not saying like the things you get after you're drunk to like cure the hangover. Jeez, Drew. No, I'm just talking about, you know, just regular. You know, you have a nice little burger. I think it will go well with it.
It'll go good.
Like a nice burger,
yeah.
not like a cheap burger. What you're saying, but anyway, I'm gonna agree with you, man. You give it an 8.5. I'll go ahead and 9 this. I'm gonna 9 this. I really
You're gonna 9 this?
I'm gonna 9 this.
Okay, it's good. You like the hoppy stuff. You like the punch you in the nuts type.
Yeah, I think you guys are getting like more or less you're understanding the difference between Drew and I. Drew actually cares about.
I care about beers.
Yeah, he cares about quality of flavor, quality of taste, which more power to him. He's absolutely right. I
would give this higher if it had the strongness, but it also had a little bit more flavor. I get nothing but hops.
You're right. Dude, no, and you know what? You're right, because I'm drinking it and I'm just feeling the punch.
It's just a straight punch. So
right.
I'm giving this 8.5. What I do love most about this beer, guys, if you haven't seen us, it's a 360 top.
Yeah.
It fully pops off.
Yeah.
Which is
pretty cool.
Freaking awesome.
Yeah.
Like, I ain't gonna freaking lie.
I'm not used to it
like,
at all.
This is awesome. I love this. But again, if you don't like hops, don't get it. Don't buy it. Don't spend your money, because this is nothing but hops.
This is gonna beat you up.
I mean, hell, there is a hops picture on the damn El Chingon. Like,
because they know your ass gonna get kicked.
Yeah. So, but it's good. I like it.
Was it
8.5 and 9?
Okay. So far, we've had a good stretch. I think the only bad, like, little in between
wasn't even bad, but whatever. Go ahead.
It was just because your wife happened to pick the Maui beer, or whatever it was called. That's what happens.
Bikini Blonde
BS. That's what it should have been called. Bikini. You know, it was trash. Anyway, but no, we've been really happy. Next week, Drew.
Central.
Oh, man. So next week's the fun stuff, guys. Next week is when I get into my crap, because next week we discuss the worst division, possibly one of the 2 or 3 worst divisions in baseball, which is the AL Central. No doubt. So, probably, if you're not a White Sox fan...
It's going to be heavily White Sox concentrated.
Right, well... when it's my section, it's probably going to be like me speaking for 90% of the time and Drew speaking for 10.
Yeah.
Which is fair, because honestly, he got his spiel in with the Cubs, so that's not my problem. But so yeah, we're gonna be doing that next week, guys. Next Sunday, as always, we're gonna post this podcast on Sunday. Don't really know why the hell I'm saying this. You guys are gonna see this on Sunday, so who cares? But as always, it was fun. Please, guys, do not forget. Please subscribe on. We have podcasts on iTunes. We have podcasts on Google Play. Podcasts on Stitcher. And we have podcasts on TuneIn. Also, Drew does our beer reviews on Instagram. We do just general conversation with people on Facebook and Twitter. And please, 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 please do not forget, if you want to converse with us personally, we are up to any conversation, whether it be positive, negative, whatever the hell you guys want. Look, we're here to discuss baseball. So write us an email at what address, Drew?
cheapseatguys@gmail.com.
That's right. So seat, not seats, just SEAT, guys.
cheapseatguys@gmail.com.
Also, for those that just want to get the widgets straight from the websites, because we do not include the website links. Obviously, we don't want to give you guys the details on that directly. Our website that you guys can go to and you can actually see the widgets to iTunes, to Google Play, etc. is Cheap Seats with an S, SEATS, podcast.libsyn, LIBSYN.com. So please, again, rate us, subscribe, give us commentary, talk to us. We want to make sure that our baseball podcast is as accessible as possible to you guys, and just have fun with it. And still working on the website, guys. Again, like I said, long-term. No time frame. Long-term project. Same with everything else. Where the baseball seasons are starting to rev up now. So as soon as the college baseball seasons start underway at UTSA, which is Drew's school, and at St. Mary's, which is my school, we're going to start going to the games. We're going to start hopefully trying to initiate ourselves into the the players. We're gonna maybe get a conversation with a couple of players from each respective school, and then we'll start going to a San Antonio Missions game. Yeah. And
surrounding Corpus Christi Hooks,
exactly right,
Round Rock Express.
There you go. And if we get lucky enough, we're gonna try and contact these teams. We're gonna try to possibly get an interview with, maybe even Fernando Tatis Jr.
Maybe.
Bro, maybe. Anyway, Drew, any last final thoughts you have to say for people who are listening to the podcast?
No.
That's fair. Drew does not care about you guys. He only cares about himself. Let Vlad sign you off. Anyway, guys.
Cheers from the cheap seats, guys, as always.
I'm done with my beer, so I can't cheers with anything. But, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. It's an absolute blast. I apologize for anyone that had to listen to a lot longer than we sent it.
Yeah.
Again, we're having too much fun with this at an hour and a half, but it's a blast. So, please, sign up, listen, talk to us. Cheers from the cheap seats. Boink. That's it. Okay. Webcam people, we're off. Have a good day. It's good seeing you. Drew's already checking his phone. Bye, guys.